As a hijabi, but also as a curious traveler, I have always wanted to go to a resort, and I found this one at Cancun. I've been very curious about Costco Travels, which is what I booked this through, but also I was curious if I could make this halal journey because I know people tend to go to resorts to party and to drink. On top of making sure I kept it halal, I also wanted to make sure that I enjoyed it even though it was halal. So here's a review of the resort as well as what I was able to do to make it halal. This is the room. Shower. Oh, or that's a. There's a phone in the bathroom in case you need to order room service. We're swimming in this. Now, this room was definitely for a newlywed or like a couple, but we made it work and we just had a lot of boundaries. As for the resort, I don't know if it was our timing or what. There were people there, but we never really saw them. You saw more coconuts than you did people. I will always admire houseplants in their natural habitat and growing naturally, so you'll see a lot of that in these clips as well. Our first stop after signing with activities at the concierge was the beach.
Oh, it's a red flag.
And it was one for the entire time we were there, but it's okay because I have a fear of oceans anyways. Now I have a fear of getting in them, but enjoying them, I am so down for that. Look at how beautiful it was. The beach is where I spent most of my time just because a lot of times there was nobody there because of the red flag, but also because it's kind of actually pretty tiny. I feel like in the pictures they made it look a lot bigger, but there were only so many chairs and places to sit before it got really crowded. Also, as you can see from these clips, there wasn't music at the beach, which made it even more halal and enjoyable for me who gets overstimulated very easily.
It's foam. Is that real sea? Is this real sea foam? Whoa. What is that? I'm out. Too scary.
The beach also had all of these mysteries that piqued my curiosity. Now, along with the beach, there were pools all around, and you could just pull up a pool chair and just sit farther, closer. There was a lot of opportunity to avoid haram by just moving your chair around or going during the earlier or later hours. And because there were so many pools around, there was only like 5 to 10 people there, and they were all basically just tanning, so they were sleeping in their beds. What was nice about the resort is no matter where you went, you saw nature and animals and things like that, so you never really felt like you were like in concrete and basically like a town of houses. Also, these guys were literally everywhere, and the funniest thing to me. Next, I went through and did all of the activities provided with the resort. I will say a lot of the activities advertised were not actually there or available, but for the ones that were there, I definitely took advantage of them, but they kind of just felt like summer camp activities. I think the main attraction is actually everything outside of the activities, like the pool, the tanning, the beach. Regardless, I was still disappointed I wasn't able to ride bikes or horseback or see the greenhouse. Now, I did a lot of exploring on the rest of the resort because it was actually connected to 2 others, so you could also go over to those sides, and we definitely did because look at how beautiful it is over here. It's a lot prettier and a lot quieter around this area. Now, I think the main reason or the biggest reason people go to resorts is because they're all inclusive, meaning you can always eat and drink whatever you want. And although there aren't specifically halal options, there are vegetarian ones, and they take allergies seriously. They also take it seriously when you say non-alcoholic. Now, I didn't film the food, but I will say the food's kind of like a 5 to 7 out of 10. It wasn't the best, but it was kind of like the food you would expect from like a hotel when you order room service. Along with all of this, our main adventure was the animals we were finding. There were random raccoon-like animals, but also this cat.
An orange cat. We've insulted him.
Yeah, so whenever you got near that cat, it became a fire alarm. It had its own like anti-theft device or something. But the other animals we kept seeing were these coites. I think they're like a Mexican raccoon, but they like just came out and scavenged, and I would hear them like scratching at the door at night. The scratching at the door was so scary, we decided to get massages. Now, I've gotten my fair share of massages, and I know to be weary, especially as a hijabi, but also to be weary at prices. And let's just say those were some really expensive massages, but they were definitely relaxing. After that, we decided to explore more of the resort and more of the beach, and we found these swings, which were so adorable. But we also decided to explore some of the sushi places since we definitely knew that would be a halal source of protein. And along the way, we saw more of these lizard iguana looking things as well as more of nature itself.
I feel the rain. Look at the coconuts. You think it'll rain coconuts on us from the wind?
An unfortunate reality of our trip was that most of the time it was raining and it was not sunny.
Flipping. Oh no.
Now, it wasn't just raining, it was storming, but it worked to our advantage because that meant the beaches and the pools were empty. And in my eyes, if I'm already getting wet, what's a little rain? I mean, even the little lizards were agreeing with me. I do think that this is why we were able to enjoy the beach so much, is because there was no one there because it was raining. I mean, look at it, it's like practically empty. This was our last day, so we were trying to enjoy it as much as possible. We got to see some random birds as well as these little turtles, which I was so shocked were so close to everyone's stepping spots. I was really worried about them. We also got our final opportunity to see the coati or whatever they're called in daylight. And I mean, we saw the entire village of them.
The whole family's here. It's time we try to swim! Nature's pool comes out. Oh!
But like I said, it worked in our favor because we got that whole pool to ourselves. Overall, we were here for 4 days and I felt like we needed an extra day or two to make it a relaxing trip. Also, I wish that all of the activities that were advertised with the Costco listing were actually there, but unfortunately they weren't. And as a hijabi, this was an amazing experience. Food was accommodated properly and I was able to actually eat and drink everything I wanted. I didn't really have to worry about it being crowded or dealing with other people because everyone was really just doing their own thing. Overall, this was an amazing experience and I would definitely do it again.